Here we go. All right. Greetings, 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 everyone. Welcome to another edition of Reason and Thursdays. Yes, we are late. Well, no, we're not late. We're on time. All right. Yeah, we're going to do an hour show, and it's all about the ladies tonight because what? It's Mother's Day this weekend. Sunday's Mother's Day. So it's the ladies who run things, right, ladies?
Yes, we
Yes,
in the house
man. Yes.
tonight. We're women united, mothers united tonight.
That's right.
There we go.
We have a guest in the studio. We have Marie in the studio with us. You want to say greetings to the massive Marie?
Greetings, greetings.
I don't know.
Happy Mother's Day when it comes.
All right.
I'm visiting today, but for probably cause, But
Yeah.
I'm here with Diane. I'm just listening and watching.
All right. All right. So, ladies, let's dive into it. Let's dive into it. Let's dive into it. And let's just touch on. Wait, before we go, want to say big shouts to Victoria's 89.1 FM who's streaming us live. Want to say also big shouts go out to YouTube's Radio who's also streaming us live. And they just have us on and we're not on. So we just want to thank YouTube's Radio for just knowing that we were coming and say big shouts to Victoria's 89.1 FM. So all of the listeners via those outlets, we want to say massive shouts to you. Big ups. All right. So we have a barrage of well, we don't have a barrage. We're just gonna play it by ear. We're playing it by ear tonight. All right. So any of the ladies, y'all want to say hello, y'all want to dive right in and just pick a topic.
Yes. Like I said, I was just looking, just happened to pull up that one that you had, Lady D, about the man accused of giving his wife AIDS
Yeah. Yeah.
video that you put on here.
Yes, yes, yeah. I when I saw that, I was like, "Whoa," you know. What I mean? And it brings us back to some of our reasoning topics where we discuss on when we were reasoning on dating and stuff like that. It makes you kind of afraid to date because this person, this lady, has been with this man how many years? She met him, and you know, got married, all of these things. But according to the children and the family, um, he had AIDS. He had HIV/AIDS before um, getting with her, and he knew he had it, and did not say a word to her. And when she found out about it, she died 2 days later. Wow. Because all of the tests, everything that she was doing, she never thought to test herself for HIV because she's monogamous with one person and it's her
Right.
husband. So she's not thinking that she's sick like that, nothing like that going on. You know what I'm saying? So the children now has went to court and filed charges, and they have upheld the charges that murder because he knew his condition and I mean, that's just a sad case. And imagine 2 days after this lady find out, she passes away.
Wow.
Two
Huh?
days. Wow.
2 days. Yeah. So it was a sad story. So when I
Mm.
saw that, I said, let me post it and on our chat and see if you ladies or gent or the respecter wanted to reason a little bit on it. Yeah, but that's a sad
Well,
and that was
well, it resonates with me because I had a friend who died that way. Um, she she was married to this man, and she got pregnant and what have you, and she passed out once, but these doctors don't really check you. But anyway, she passed out again in the bathroom another day, and that's how they found her in there, passed out. When they took her to the hospital,
Uh-huh.
they found out that she had at that time in those days, that's like 1980 something.
Yeah.
They didn't know much about AIDS then, so they told her it was pneumonia at first. Then after that, they said it was cancer. Come to find out, rapid decay. I mean, I went to see her, and the thing is that we graduated from college at the same time, and she never got to get her yearbook. So I went to pick her yearbook up, and my mom said to me, look in her eyes. Go see her. Whenever you gone to see her. I said, Mama, it's hard to see her. I went a couple of times with chemo for her with the chemo, and it just break my heart. It's so hard to see her like that. And my mom told me, she said, look in her eyes. You go now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Go now. And I went down there, and within 1 month, she was like a piece of stick. I ran out of the room when I saw her on the bed. My cousin and I went. And the nun, they had nuns then. They had turned that hospital into a AIDS hospital downtown Manhattan. And the nun said to me, if you can deal with it, go in. If not, she'll understand. She's in a coma anyway. She don't hear you. So anyway, I went in there anyway, and I sat and I held her hand, and telling her that I'm sorry I didn't come and all of that. And I said, please forgive me. And I said, Mila, show me some sign that you can hear me. And she held my hand and curved her hand around mine. And I sat there a little bit longer with her, but it was tearing my heart seeing her like that. And we left. And the nun said to me before I leave, she said, call the family because she's not going to make it um, through the night. Anyway, I told them to call me if she expired. And 5 o'clock that morning, they called me and told me she expired. And it's like my whole world was turned upside down because that was my bestie then, and it was turned upside down, and it was very hard for me for a very long time, you know.
Mm,
So it's not an easy thing for a person to do that to an individual, and that's what he did. We were all working together, and he was then fooling around with the other girl at the job, and she gave it to him, and he in turn gave it to her, and she was pregnant, not knowing, until she passed out. So those three children, they lived without her. They grew up without her. That was about 87,
Yeah, that
88. She passed on. Yeah,
that's a wicked, wicked thing. And
wicked.
I'm
It's
glad
a wicked thing, and
they,
the children suffer as well.
yeah, the children,
Mhm.
fortunately, which is still not fortunate, these
Yeah,
children are adults and they are the one whom brought the charges up against the
yeah,
the stepfather. So
yeah.
it is so great that they are pursuing
You
it.
can't do that because these kids, they had no voice. The
Yeah,
grandparents were older, and
yeah, yeah,
they didn't fight it. You understand what I'm saying? But he died though. He died, I heard, a month or two after she did. He died.
yeah, yeah. It's a
So
sad, sad thing,
Yeah,
So
it
these
is. It
yeah,
really
these
is.
stories are heartbreaking.
yeah, it is.
yes,
Hmm.
really
It's
is.
heartbreaking. It's
That's
scary at the
It
same
was.
time because you discuss first the woman, the man already knew he had it, and he marries her, so he's willfully passing this
Did
on.
that.
So that's
Hmm.
one. The
that's my
other one,
question.
he know he's married with his wife. She's pregnant with their child, and he's willfully sleeping carelessly with all kinds of women and not even protecting himself. He shouldn't be sleeping in the
Hmm.
first place, but if he's gonna do it, he's not even trying to protect himself. He's just carelessly gallivanting all over the place, and not being careful about it. Or how about respect your marriage? So
Hmm.
it's disheartening because both of these people are married, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and
Right.
so it's not even just your boyfriend or whatever.
So
You made a commitment, and these things are happening. Then the person comes and brings it to you, and you're faithful to them, and they're coming and bringing in the disease that's going to end your life.
yeah,
It's sad. It's
sad.
contemptuous on
Yeah,
these men part. Yeah.
But men do that. I don't know about now, but I know. in the early, these men used to get gonorrhea and all of that and pass it on to their women. And it was like nothing. I'm not sure how it is out there now. I guess they have now color, well, what it's called? They have all different kinds now, really. But in those days, men would do that, and then they were sleeping around a lot because those days it was like fast time, free time. People wasn't scared or anything. You just enjoy life. So they were jumping from partner to partner and infecting each other. But men used to do that a lot. I used to hear a lot of that going on gonorrhea,
Yeah.
and they don't care.
Well, it just like I said earlier, it makes you kind of afraid to get back on the dating scene. And if you
That
do
kind
get
of
on the dating,
very.
but I'm saying, but let's put it in the, let's try to make a little bit of positiveness out of that. With learning something such as this, can we not? I would encourage women that if you are dating and you're starting a relationship, make sure that you use protection. And also, one of your requirements from the person whom you are dating, once you decide to become intimate with that person, is to say, listen, you need to go and get cleared of any
hmm
communicable disease. And I
Definitely.
would do the same. We both go to the table,
Right.
our
I
testing
agree.
the doctor, and we both be tested, because you just can't live your life just loosely like that. So I'm not gonna say women do not date, women do not fall in love, women do not go into a relationship, but just like rich people do, they get what's that, okay, Lord have mercy,
Talking
they
about the
uh,
prenup.
a prenuptial agreement, then you go and you let them know that, listen, you need to get a communicable disease agreement. Let's go
But
to
listen, lady. You
right.
see
Yep.
lady panel. You see what the problem is that these men is hit and run. You understand what I'm saying? They don't have time to do all of that. And some of these women are out there so free that they do the hit and run also. So
Well,
that's where those things come along.
and that's what I was gonna say. It's not just something for you as a woman to demand of a man. It's something as well for a man to demand of a woman, because you know the same, like you said, Queen, in
hmm
regards to your sister,
Yeah.
it was one of their co-workers that slept with her husband and gave
Uh-huh.
him the disease, and then
True, true.
he brought it home to her. So it
Yeah.
was a woman whom did pass it on to him. And
Mm-hmm.
so, regardless of if it's a man or it's a woman, once you are in a relationship and you decide to become intimate with an individual, make
Yeah.
just if that person have a problem with going to get them self checkout and bring you them paperwork, and you have a problem to go and get your self checkout and bring the paperwork to that significant other, then you all don't need to be together, because
Exactly.
somebody has something to hide. You understand? So I
Mhm.
would say, yeah, you must go, both of you must go and go get checked up.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I agree. Exactly.
it's a two-way road on this. It's
True.
definitely a two-way road on this. Yeah.
Yep.
So anyone
I
else
agree.
comment to throw on that, or we're gonna move on?
Can move on.
We can move on. That was a great way to close it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the case with
Yeah, that was
Tyrone
good.
Nichols? What y'all think about Tyrone Nichols' case?
Who Nichols case?
Y'all been keeping up with Tyrone Nichols? The verdict came in. Remember he was beaten up like how they did Floyd? They
Yeah.
beat him like well the
And
verdict
what's
came in. hmm
what was
And the verdict, they find there's some things that they find, guilty, but some things they not guilty. The main ones, they is not guilty. So right now it's a lot of uproar with that, and there's more to come of it. The let me see what I said. The Supreme Court. Let me see
If
what
y'all
the
confused about what this one is, she's referencing the story about when the officers beat up that gentleman, and then it came out that the police officers have gangs within the departments, and they were a
yeah,
part of a little
Memphis,
gang, and they beat him
Memphis
down,
City. Mhm,
and he didn't do anything wrong.
mhm. You all haven't heard been following the case?
No, I to be honest,
Yeah.
I've been
Well,
in the case.
well, what happened was, yeah, what happened was the trial. They didn't have the trial in Memphis because they felt he wouldn't have gotten a fair trial, so they moved it to Tennessee. But the thing is that, like they're saying in Memphis, um,
Memphis is
the majority, you had 12 blacks, you had 12 white jurors, right? And Memphis is a predominantly black. It's like 12% black. It's a black predominantly black community. So they're saying that it's all rigged. So they're fighting it, fighting the decision. So there's
Yeah.
a lot coming up on it. A lot more coming up on it.
okay. Jai, what
Yeah.
do you know about it? Do you know much
So,
about it?
oh,
I just know it was a number of if y'all wondering, black officers who beat up the black guy. They beat him up
Mhm.
really bad. He wasn't but I haven't been following it. The only last thing I saw was, I think, and I don't know if all of them got off. Maybe Queen can correct me, but the last time I checked, I think it was only like 3 or 4 who were found not guilty, but it was maybe like seven
Yeah,
or eight officers that beat on him.
yeah, yeah.
Also, it these are black officers beating up a black man.
Some they're mixed.
Correct.
It
And this
was
is
yes.
why
mixed,
I
black and
mentioned
white.
Oh,
this
Yeah,
is
black and
no,
white.
this is why I mentioned the police department's gangs, because that's when they
Mhm.
started coming out. That's when the one in Atlanta came out. It's a bunch of them that started coming out, but they're like a little gang, and they
Yeah.
beat him down in the street, like beat him. It wasn't
Mm.
just a, oh, maybe knock you on the floor and hit you a few times. Like, they beat him, and it was real bad, and so they all were, charged.
and four of them, 3 to 4 of them got off of that charge.
Got off. Yeah,
As far as I know right
yeah,
now, they were found
yeah.
not guilty.
Today it was.
Three black officers, three of black officers were found not guilty.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you know
but
what?
we're not. Yeah, but
Since
there's still people still disputing it because they said they should be. You know, they should have found them guilty because of what they did. And they said what happened is these white jurors, 12 white jurors, they didn't see his face, how beaten up it was. You know, because
Hmm.
they didn't show it. I guess it was admissible in court or what have you, those
Yeah.
pictures, whatever it was. But it was a lot of confusion because the juror, when they were picking the jurors, it was hard, and they still end up picking 12 white
okay,
It's
in a
interesting
black on
because
a
when you
black
think
man
about
a black man trial.
it's interesting because when you think about the officer immunity thing that they're trying to push,
yeah,
and like, when life honestly shows you the reality of, sometimes people get um power hungry, or they don't know what to do with the power that they have, and so they abuse it. And it's like, to think that people would get off with something like this, because the man honestly didn't deserve it. He was innocent. And
Mhm.
so it's like, people are going to be prosecuted because you did me wrong. It's like, that's a different level of power to have, even as just a cop.
yeah, yeah. And this
Yeah,
is
you're right.
what 47 is pushing. 47 is pushing for police immunity. It's alleged that he is pushing for police immunity as well as immunity for himself. And that is something serious because such as cases like this, if this law that he's really coming up with, if this law that um, Trump is coming up with, well, 47 is coming up with, and it really, really passed, and this law really passed, it is, it's not a good thing, especially not a good thing for melanated skin men. Melanated skin people, period, black people, people of color. This is not a good thing. So I mean, persons are crying about him
Mm.
being elected in an office because they did not do their research. They did not do the due diligence of researching what he is going to do when he become now that he's in, when he becomes in office, and now this he's in office, we are walking on shells.
Correct.
We're walking
Mhm.
on shells because if this such in this case, and right now we already have so much brutality within the police force. God bless the good ones.
Mhm.
Blessings to the ones that are law upholding police officers. But for the ones, because I know a lot of them whom are, but for the ones whom are not, and they get to do things such as this to people, to it is scary.
Mhm.
Really, really a
And,
scary.
and 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 the scary part is so many of them get away with it. That's the scary part of it. You
So
know,
Yeah.
only the ones that are in the news get a low charge, but majority of them get away with it. Look at that one they beat in the jail, beat him till they killed him in the jail. And what? Right now the family is still trying to get answers in what was it? Clayton County, one of them places. I mean, it's sad.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got to follow this case, and we have to. Did anybody else want to? Did anybody else want to? Did anybody else want to hit this topic? Caller, you live. Caller, you live on the air. Who's this?
I'm live on the air.
The respect.
Yay!
Respect. I sent you a link, sir.
I am I am live on the air.
You're live on the air. Okay, okay.
All
My
right.
call is basically
We
Look, he's gonna call in after he AWOL. Huh?
trying to kick you off the panel tonight. He says it's women. It's a women night because you were ignoring the women. So the women say, all right, we're gonna stand and united. Yeah. So
you know what happened? I got in I was checking for the link and I could not find no link.
uh-huh. Because it
And
was
no matter
late.
what I tried on my main device, nothing will connect.
It was late.
Couldn't
But
call you.
it was late, but we're not talking to you anyway. We dealing with topics. We don't want to
no
we don't want to hear your phone
no hold on.
problems. We don't want to
Hold
hear
on.
all
DJ,
about your phone problems. All
I can
right.
hardly hear you though. I can hardly hear you.
Well, you need to check your link. I sent you a link. I'm gonna resend it. So if you want to come on, you dive in. So I'm resending you a link. Okay. Yeah. So
DJ Smile said that you have two programs running at one time.
how I got two programs running at one time? Get out of here. Oh, you know what? Tell him I forgot to stop this one. Tell him thank you. Tell him thank you, my darling. Thank you, my darling. Thank you, DJ Smiles. Thank you. I just, you know what? I had this thing on going. So it was all the ones. So all of the listeners that were listening on YouTube's radio and that was listening on 89.1 FM, we are so sorry because over the air, it's coming as two programs. But because what I'm looking at, I'm not hearing it. So I apologize. I apologize. My apologies. My apologies. Okay. So oh, the respecters here. All righty. The respecter is making it a woman's night, but since you come back.
Well, I don't have no problem with that.
When it comes more
I
for
don't
the
have no problem with that.
all right. So the respecter, you missed out on two topics, so we're not going back for you, sorry.
No, you don't need to.
All right, let's dive in because we've only got like 45 minutes left. Once again, just want to pick up YouTube's radio. DJ VJ Smiles, Ross Dougal. Want to say blessings to you all. The Victorious 89.1 FM radio. Dr. J, and the entire crew over there. Massive shouts. If you're listening to us via our telephone lines, we want to say big shout to you. That's 667-930-9036. For those who want to use your phone and tune into us, you would still get your phone calls. You would still do all of that, and it picks up right back. If you're listening to us via our website at www.dapowerhouseradio.com, want to say massive shouts to you. If you're listening via the tuning apps, want to say blessings and massive shouts to you, to the Zeno, all of the social media. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we're going to be definitely kicking off our TikTok next week. All right, definitely kicking off the TikTok next week. So blessings to our sponsors, the Hinkson Law Firm. Want to say big shouts to One by One Kia, Unique Total Care. Blessings to you, Awesome Renovations, Botastic, and Mystique Enterprise. Blessings go out to you all. All right, let's dive back in. Let's go to Abraham. Let's go to
Before we go to that, can we go to the hair? What's going on with the hair traffic? Because that's quick. Abraham is very long.
what's but it's 9:17. We only have 30 minutes, 35 minutes left. But
Okay.
dive into the air traffic real quick. What's about them?
Okay. 12.5 billion for traffic control improvement. Okay, that was proposed. Anyway, so far they had three miscommunication where there was no contact with none of the pilots, none of the airplanes. And they have 45 where the radio was out. The pilot could not hear what the air traffic is saying.
You know what, Queen? I'm
Mhm.
getting ready to fly. I don't want to hear about that.
Me either, please.
All right,
You get
Question:
all right, no,
If Ibrahim is gonna be long, did y'all want to save him for next week and talk about
All right.
the lady who called the little 5-year-old a N word?
say that again.
Okay.
Oh
I
boy.
said if you guys really want to get into Ibrahim and save him for next week, and if you wanted another topic, that lady who called the little 5-year-old black boy the N word at the park, and then
Yeah.
Oh,
somebody backed her up
Yeah.
on it.
yes.
Yeah, I looked at, yeah, I saw that.
Wow.
That was, yeah, y'all send it to the, somebody send it to the chat. I saw
Not
it.
it's not
Um,
somebody
yeah,
back.
we can cancel that and
Quick,
go.
quick, quick.
Sorry.
It's not even that they backed her up. That somebody backed her up. There's a lot of people that backed her up. She did like a GoFundMe. It's not wasn't
Mhm,
GoFundMe, it's a different name for it. And
mhm.
she raised $600,000 telling her story. Before I go in, blessings to you, Myra. Blessings to you, Donna. Big ups yourself, Donna.
Blessing.
Yeah, but she was able to get $600,000. So that tells you how much racist people
Mhm,
is around and have donated
mhm,
to her cause.
mhm,
That's serious.
mhm.
Yeah. So
It,
yeah, because
it
when you
sure
watch
is
the
serious.
video, yes, sir.
What
Noni,
they're
you were
trying to
talking.
argue is that
No, I was
and I'm
just
sorry, I
agreeing,
think I
Michelle,
cut
that
you
that
off.
is
Oh,
serious.
okay. I was gonna say okay.
I'm
Um.
sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So the first thing was he comes out and the little boy. They're saying that he may have autism,
Yeah.
and he's a black little boy runs and he takes something from the diaper bag. And she goes, she says, "Give that to me," and she calls in the N word. And then a man was taping. He was like, "What did you just say to that little boy?" And she goes on to say to him very proudly the N word like 3 or 4 times. So then it goes out, and now she's going, "Oh, they're coming after my family. I don't know if I can get any money. I don't know what's going to happen to us." So now she's crying after she was very proud and vulgar with her mouth. Then she
Yeah.
cries, and
Yeah.
all these people are giving her all this money. And her first goal was actually 250,000. But when she saw people keep giving money, I think she increased it
She
to a
made
million.
a million, and she's
Yeah. But
six.
on the opposite, the good news
Uh huh.
about this case So the child that was and she couldn't do it on a GoFundMe. On another side, as Lady D said. So the child's parents, they started a GoFundMe. So they were actually able to go on GoFundMe, and they started one for 200 and something thousand, and they got over 250,000. I don't know if they got more yet. So that's good. That's good news on that side. So,
Yeah.
Right, that's the bright side. What they're trying to argue is that white people or YTs, whatever we gonna call them, they don't have. It's bringing back fighting. This is bringing back their freedom of speech.
that which is so exactly. You're right. They
That's
said that they're
That's the
being suppressed.
argument. That's the argument because there was a young lady who essentially was supporting the woman's decision to do that, and she was on CNN and she said, "Yeah, I use it." And so the gentleman asked, like, okay, so if you're so you're comfortable just outright being a racist, when do you use it? And she said, whenever I feel like it's warranted.
You see,
And
you see,
Pierce
you
She
see
Morgan,
said, if
what
I'm a
happened.
racist for
Morgan,
that,
right?
then I'm a racist.
You see what happened. This presidency, what it did was it brings those people out. Remember, those were the people that were supporting him. You understand what I'm saying? Those
Yes.
racist people. So now that he is president, it gives them the right to come out. So they're coming out now in the open. I
Yeah.
was watching something where I saw camp like where they holding arms, or somewhere say hold arms or something like that. And you see them doing all them tactics thing on YouTube. And I said, now look at that there. Who knows? Hey, but they're coming out, they're bold and they're getting even bolder. They used to hide it before, now it's in the open.
It goes back to my question on like when is enough enough? Like when are we gonna stop begging and just make a new plan? I feel like we need a new plan.
I
Because
agree.
this is just disheartening at this point, and a part of me is gonna sound a little crazy, and I feel like some of y'all might disagree, but now it's almost like we're just allowing anything, and then we like, this is not right, like we're just allowing anything when I'm pretty sure this is not the only way.
well, I think a lot of people don't know what to do and what would be the way. Because, and what, when you say we're allowing, I mean, do do black people, melanated skin people really have a say? Do they? This is, you know,
I feel like we have a lot more power than we think.
but
And what do they want the most from
I
us? It's kind of
Yeah.
like what Don said prior, money. And
I
we're just like, la 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 la. What?
think we have a lot of power
Well,
in numbers, but the problem is that black people don't come together in the numbers. Like how we've even reasoned on this several times back in the days when there was a Martin Luther King, when there was a Malcolm X, when there was a 5%er, when there was those
The
types of
Black Panthers.
Black Panther movements. When there was those movements, there are not those movements now. Our people don't come together and really fight together, because even this Black Lives Matters movement is not, to me, it's BS.
It
Because
is.
it's not a movement that is really doing anything for the black. It's just when something happened, you come out, you walk. There's more violence occurring during these marches than peace and then resolutions. We don't have a resolution. I don't hear, the only resolution I've so far here that sounds somewhat, that made a little sense, that made somewhat of impact, was to boycott targets when Bishop, what's his name, from New Birth, came
Mm.
up with that
yeah,
little,
Jamal Bryant.
Jamal Bryant, when Pastor Jamal Bryant came up with that, and it forms a little bit somewhat of a thing, but still, I don't see where Target's really made a change. They say they're going to think about doing certain thing, but has it been done? No. And a lot of persons are still shopping there. They're still doing their things there. All the list a huge list came out with how many places not to shop, what to do, not to do. We are still shopping there. So, I mean, like, what is the resolution? And there's no leader. We don't have. I don't know if we need a leader, but I guess we do need a leader because there's no leader to say, okay, let's do this. Let's take these steps as such Malcolm did, as such the these organizations did, such um, Martin Luther King did. Peace. He had his peaceful way. You know, Malcolm had his radical way. This Black Panther had their radical way. I mean, it's just like whom do we turn to? So therefore,
Um,
they're getting
from they need, you see the thing is people cannot lead themselves. They always need a leader. From Moses come all the way up to Martin Luther King to whoever. It's just that there is no one strong right now that can shake. Maybe
I
that young lady seems to be making an impact. I like her and I like how she
yeah,
talks.
Jasmine
they
Crockett. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
The respecter want to say something, but before you say something, the respecter, Donna made one of the best comments that there is to make tonight. Donna says, when there was a Malcolm X and a Martin Luther King, they were taken out by their own blacks. Is that why we cannot have a leader? Because our black people are afraid to be taken out? You know, even with that, that's going to bring us into Abraham. But go ahead.
Right. That's what I was just here to say.
Yeah.
I was getting
Mhm.
ready to say he's that guy.
That's what I'm
He's
saying.
Go-
guy. I
well
don't care what
Come
nobody
over
says.
here.
I will move
Wait a
well
minute. Respect. Go ahead. Go ahead. Respect. Oh, you're not supposed to be here, but go ahead and respect that.
it is seriously sad because there's still quite a huge number percentage of black folks who are still afraid of the white people. They're still terrified. So they're not gonna speak like how we are speaking and have the mindset and the intentions that we have, the things that we wish to do, but we're still cautious about doing because of the vengeance that's out there waiting. They're trying to figure out who is against, who have the mouth and speaking, so they can line up so when they're ready to attack, they know where to go, who to look for. So that's why a lot of black folks are not verbal like we are. And the ones who are terrified still, fearful of the white man, then you have those who are not considered black people because they are for the white man and with the white man against us. So it's not that there's no leader. There's lots of leaders out there who are speaking out. Raphael is doing it. It's many. Al Green is doing it. It's not just Crockett. I mean, talking ain't gonna really move the needle. It takes action, and it's gonna be somebody that's gonna come out who don't have nothing to live for. Just gonna make a statement and start a movement to bring these people to their needs. And what I've been saying about June 6th, I heard something today. There's something really gonna happen in June 6th because now in Washington in June, don't know what day in June, but they're planning a parade for him. They're planning a parade in June in
on that
Washington.
$100 million.
It is ridiculous.
Mhm.
All right. Because,
Yeah.
well, we got
Make it correct it. Military parade.
Yeah. Yeah.
well, bringing us to Abraham. Uh, I mean, like it takes me back to where Donna says, black. You know, the black takes out their own black because one of his high ranking. I sent you all the clip. One of his high ranking officers had turned against him, right? And you know what saved them? A
His son.
cow. A cow. What son?
There was another occasion where his son saved him.
A cow.
That's the other one.
They were going up uh, uh, um, of a dirt road. First of all, they were gonna take they were going to do go he was going to speak to the children. And they if they took one route, it would get them like 2 hours late. But if they took another route, it would get there if they would get there on time, or maybe just 30-40 minutes late. So one of his top generals, um, almost like a right hand to him, was insistent on him taking the other way. So when he was taking he says, "Okay, did you clear it?" He said, "Yeah, I cleared it the day before. I went and we cleared it the day before." All right. When they were going up that dirt road, a cow came out and stood in the road and would not let them pass by. So Ibrahim Torre, they did everything to get the cow out the way, and the cow would not move. So he got out the car, and when he got out the van and he walked up, he was like, "Okay, this is strange. Why this cow won't move?" So when he go up, he says he looked, and underneath the cow was some wires that look. And he sent these guys. He said, "Hey, look, come and look at this." So when they went and they looked and they saw the wires, that they traced it. When they traced it, a whole bunch of explosive that could have killed all of them in all of the vehicles that was there. Okay. And when they, after that, the cow moved off. Once they found the explosive, the cow moved off. All right. So that's how.
That's why they. That's why they're saying even the animals love him.
No, that's
They
blessed and
say,
covered.
That's
they
Right.
say the animals love
That's blessing.
and that
Yeah,
Yep.
we all praying for him. Let me tell you.
and then when they went and they looked,
Mhm.
he was asking his second hand guy, like, "I thought you said you checked the road. What's going on?" And he started sweating and shaking and all of this stuff. So they arrested him. And then when they went back and played back the tape, they saw the day before that he had went out there and was talking to someone. But he did confess. It is reported, or it's alleged, that he confessed that yes, he um he did take a bribe from them. But the question is, whom is them? Because
Right.
they're still not talking about whom them is.
The Americans and the French. We're the ones trying to, well, those countries are trying to take him out.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
They even
Some
offered, I think his first general or whoever, his first in command, whoever he is, they offered him $5 million to set him up. They're not offering little baby money.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They're offering top
yeah,
dollars for this
leave that
man.
power. Because you see, it's
And
even
it's gonna continue to
some
go
of
on. It's not gonna stop. They're gonna keep
and,
trying to
and
do
some
that,
of
take
these
him out.
African and some of these African head of a country, they're against him, because they feel that he's getting all this hype and power and
He's
so
showing, yeah,
they're also fighting against him. So
he's showing them.
There are some that are joining, like Senegal just joined and wants to start their own
mhm.
currency and getting rid of the franc and wants to start their own Senegalese currency.
Yeah,
So
you
some
can
of
no
them
longer
are joining.
spend the
There's about
American
six of
dollar
them.
with the Singhalese. Yep.
Yeah, it's about six. It's about six leaders who are joining. Our,
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, this is something.
But he got Putin support 100%.
Say that again, the respecter.
He got Putin support 100%.
Yeah, he
He's
sent
Putin
troops
puppet.
Oh
to
yeah.
protect him.
It's Putin.
Yeah,
Look,
he sent troops to protect him. Yeah.
We're not gonna protect
like
that
we
man when he
talked
ready.
about, like we spoke about, we reasoned on last week. I don't think he should let his guard down and take any help from anyone out of Africa. And then again, we're looking at here, and his own people were given bribes and things
Against
to be.
him. Yeah.
So I mean, like, oh my goodness, we it's just prayers for this brother. Did you
Mm-hmm.
see that even Louis Farrakhan came out and said that, yeah, they better take their hands off of our guy, off of our
Yeah.
brother. Yeah.
Leave that brother alone. That's
Okay.
what he
Yeah.
said.
You
Yes.
know what?
Yeah.
Well,
Me
he
too.
has his bodyguards and people who are for him. He might have to start making some clothes, some people looking just like him. So if they think they're going after him, it's the wrong person. They might have to make a few
I want
clones
I
so
want
they
to
can
hear Lady
follow them.
Farrakhan say that again.
Say that again, the respecter.
I want to hear Lady Farrakhan say that again.
Yeah.
Leave that brother alone.
Everybody, they should need some. They need
I
to
like
make
to hear
some
when he
body
said
doubles
that.
of him.
Funny.
Leave that brother alone.
Go ahead, Dodie. You got a request.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if we're finished with that, but well, I had got on my one of my Instagrams about the man that was accused of, sexually assaulting those two twins when they were 14, Vincent Simmons, and spent like 40 something years locked up of his life. And he kept filing numerous habeas corpus, and they weren't able to get those, entered, so that can be evidence. And that was like in 1993. But I just think it's so sad when our brothers get locked up. And I know that was many years ago, but at the same time, it's still happening now. That's a lot of years of his life gone. And, it was all a lie.
All
And
accusation.
they're still not even apologizing for it. They're grown women now, but they're still saying, "Oh, we got anxiety and all this kind of stuff." But you know now that you knew then that he was wrongly accused, but yet there's still no apology today. Wow.
That's I didn't read up on that article. But what's the name of that brother?
Yeah. Vincent Simmons.
Vincent Simmons. Okay.
Mhm.
I have to research on
You
that.
know
That
what's
was in
sad is that
'77 when that happened.
you know what's sad
1977.
is that there's so many stories of black men accused of these crimes and they're innocent and they're sitting in prison for 20 to 30, 40 years and just getting out and they were innocent the whole time, you know?
And a
I
lot of
can't even imagine y'all being locked up like that, knowing and
Yes.
every day he had to live with knowing that he never did this to these 14-year-olds. Just oh my God.
Yes. And then you know they always say that in the prison they treat them differently when they know that they've um harmed someone young. His life could have even been worse than it usually would have been because they thought he was a pedophile.
yeah,
So
definitely.
true, but then even at his age now, he looked sickly. He looked like just all he know was prison life,
Yeah,
you know?
that's it.
Because he was born in 52,
Okay.
and I mean, and he was sentenced to like 100 years. Like, wow. Mm,
He's in his 70s now.
And he's
right. I mean,
still there. Or he has been released.
he has been released now,
Okay. Yeah.
and
Well,
trying to get
not
free
that.
all those years.
Yeah, not that it's gonna make a great big difference because I've seen so many of individuals that are free has been proven innocent, and because we're not talking about whom is guilty, we're speaking of the persons whom is innocent, that they try to monetarily give them something to feel like that can compensate for the time.
Yeah.
I don't think any money can compensate
No amount.
Yeah.
for the time that is taken from them. I think that
Yeah. Quality of life.
yeah, and I think that it is something that once again I'm going back to elections election time, and the importance of us uh, going and voting in our local elections. It is very important for us because of the fact that now they're bringing back death row persons, people whom is in jail, trying to not just lethal injection, but now they're bringing back firing squads. You know,
Mm,
to shoot these people, and when they shoot people and they die, and then hey,
What's
all of a
happening?
sudden they come up innocent. How are you going to bring them back? They're deporting. They're now deporting even American citizens to Venezuela, to different
What's
countries.
going on?
So I mean, like, it is, we have to know whom we're voting and putting in these local seats.
our government, they pay $5 million to Venezuela to house them.
Yeah, they're making a lot of money.
Mm, mm.
So everyone just runs and vote for the presidency. People, you all have to vote in these local elections. You need to research whom your representatives are, whom your senators are, you know, whom your the oh boy, I was just gonna, it was just on my tongue. The
Even judges that may be up for
judges, all of that, all of the electors, whom you all are voting to become your electors, because even your electors are the ones whom are the ones that really cast your vote for presidency. I'm not even sure if people is totally understanding the impact. Even when they go and vote, you stand on these long lines. They're just telling you the popular vote. But whom is really casting your votes are the electors. Okay? So you need to participate in these local elections because these are the people who are passing these laws. It's sad. It's real, real sad. Okay. So we've been preaching this for years. I think for the last 10, 15, 20 years on Reasoning Thursdays, that you people need to get involved in your local elections. These commissioners, these county commissioners, all of these things, you all need to really, really, your school superintendents, you have children, you have grandchildren, you're paying taxes. You all need
Yeah.
to go to these board meetings and hear the plans. Whom are these superintendents that they are putting in these seats to 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 oversee your child's education? I mean, when we all start taking all of these things seriously, then I feel that they will be somewhat of a change in
I think
these
I
laws.
think one of these days a listener is gonna blast you because they're gonna take it personal and say to you,
Mhm,
you know how many times I call these tax commissioners like I do,
mhm,
and they tell you one thing and mean something else. I'm not joking. I call every one of these tax commissioners, property tax, insurance, car insurance. I
mhm.
call the mortgage people. I call the congressman. I call the mayor. I tried everything with them. They all say what they don't mean.
Well,
And we can't tell who to put in there, Lady D. We would love to know that who we put in is the right person. But they
The,
all fail us. They
the,
all fail us.
before you started to contact these these tax offices, these tax commissioners, and all this, did you go vote? Did you
I,
research?
I
Did you
always,
research
I,
whom
yes,
you were voting for? So
sometimes
the
I do and
ones that you,
sometimes I don't.
so the one that okay, so the ones
So,
that
okay,
you
I'll tell
vote,
you what, right now,
the one
right now, they're considering the 226 budget is coming up, right? And our government is proposing to get rid of FEMA and or slash the funding to the agency. So there's a lot of, from what I'm seeing, there's a lot of people that's a lot of company agencies that's gonna be harder to get help from, or especially when I think of these handicapped children and what have you that depend on funding from them, for these
Can I
special needs
can
schools.
I add to it,
What's
Queen?
gonna happen?
before
Because
we, before
he cutting at the main sources. FEMA is who help people when there's a disaster.
Can I add to it?
Before you add to it, the respected Jean says it is important to know these officials that are making choices for us as citizens. She also says, I just learned today that you can join a group that once a year you are able to put in your opinion, and the deadline is May the 10th. Donna says, do you see the scandal with our New York Attorney General Letitia James? No, I haven't seen the scandal with Letitia James. I know that that's the New York. She's the Attorney General for New York, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I what was the scandal? Because I don't know what that scandal was, Donna.
While we're waiting for the scandal
Yeah, go
and
ahead.
we're talking about politicians, I'm pretty sure none of you guys heard about the recent oil spill that's happening and why
But you
there's such a low response to
wait
it.
a minute. Wait a minute, Jai. I had interrupted the respecter. Go ahead, the
Oh,
respecter.
No,
sorry.
no, she can finish. She can finish.
Then Jai. Go ahead, Jai.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was just an add on to him and just kind of I get where he's coming from because nobody's talking about this oil spill and how the response is low because there's low staffing due to all the firing. The people who did handle that, they were fired.
Uh,
Because of whom was voted into office, and whom the person that was voted into office that hired all of these non-qualified people to do the dirty laundry. Yeah.
and right now it's in a shamble. It's falling apart. You see how many of them he already done replace and fire and what have you. I tell you, let me tell you,
But if
we been,
if you look though, Queen, his ratings is starting to go back up. So somebody is liking what he's doing.
hey.
You got to remember, they're never going to admit when they're wrong.
Yeah, that
And
too.
then you also got to remember the risk that that they were willing to take this risk over having someone black, number one, again, and God forbid she was a woman.
Oh, Donna says the scandal was mortgage and campaign fraud. But
She
it's a
she
setup. Go
she
ahead,
she
Inspector.
she had a what they call a press conference that was all over the internet, and she was just speaking um her hearts because of what's going on in this country, and Trump became president again, and she was just promising the people that she's not giving up, and she's gonna keep fighting to make sure he gets what he deserves. So all this is a trickery. They trying to make an example out of her. It don't take much to make it seem like somebody is stealing or doing corruption.
Okay.
It don't.
I'm waiting for what they're going to try to do.
We have to know who's who.
It. I'm waiting to
Like
see.
Gene said, we're supposed to know who's who by now and know them before we vote for them and all
But
that good stuff.
you
But it's
just
kind of
said
hard. It's not that easy.
okay. Yeah.
People gonna sound how they want to sound it, how we want them to look and sound and all that, and believable. So it's not easy.
Donna says basically everything she went against Trump for, those are the same crimes she committed. But who knows if she did commit them?
Mm.
Just like the respecter just now said, you know, she's been fighting against the corruption of Trump so long. You don't think that maybe?
It'll be a setup.
setup. Just like I was saying, is what next are they gonna come with? Representative Jasmine Crockett, because
Uh-huh.
she's very outspoken. They even tried to lie on her and said that she incited violence against Elon Musk,
Uh-huh.
right? And but she's a smart cookie. She immediately came back and addressed that very quickly.
You're very smart. Yeah.
Yeah, she's very intelligent.
And her family have money, not just her
Right.
family, but her. She have money too, from what I was reading about her.
Yeah,
She is, and yeah, yes, she can hold her own.
well, Donna says that it's on the mortgage application since 1983. Well, we will all research whatever this with this mortgage application. Mortgage, I'm writing it down from 1983. Um, that Donna's speaking of with Latitha James. Latitha James.
You know she's married to a Jamaican.
Oh, Latitha James.
Letitia, yeah.
You see, everybody, everything with Jamaican Trump I go after, everything I do with Jamaican Trump, Trump I go
You
after.
heard? Oh, you heard he might open up the door for no visa. You heard that, right?
Not
He's
for Jamaica, that's false.
They said he might open up the door for no visa.
Not for Jamaica. Jamaica is not. Trust me, Jamaica is for
He
that.
said they can benefit tourism and tourists can come here
I don't
and
know if they're gonna want to
tourism
come. They have
they
a travel ban on us right now, low key.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm
They do. They have warnings out to other countries right now advising to be careful with travel here because of how they're moving with the deportations, the holdings, all
And
of
the
that.
civil unrest with the protests.
yeah, yeah. Well, like I keep telling everyone, and I'm gonna continue to sing it every week. Wherever you come from, whatever island that you are from, go. And I was watching this gentleman, I forget his name. I'm gonna come back with it next week. And he's telling you what the cost is for material, how much it is for square footage. This is for Jamaica at least. How much
Mm,
it takes to build X amount of square footage, um for the lots, for the stuff like that. But I encourage each and every one. You don't have to go live there. You can have your place down there and fence it up and board it up or whatever. But just make sure you have something. It is written. You're gonna go where you all came from by will or by force. So
mm,
take the will avenue. How about that? And don't let
mm.
anybody force you.
It's gonna
Okay?
be very hard to go back where you came from, though.
Why?
Why you say that?
Guys, think about it. To go back to a sperm cell, how the heck you gonna go back to that?
You go back to what? Oh, please. No.
How you gonna go back to a sperm cell and yeah, okay, and a uterus.
Right.
Not that, not that far back. Not that far back.
Not that far back.
Well, and our Mother's Day,
Your
right?
land. Go back to your land.
Yeah. Everybody,
Mhm.
and this guy, he made sense in one of the clips that he did, where I think it was like a 30 by 20 or something like that. It was like 10 to 50. It was like, call it like 15,000 US dollars to really build it. And he says it's like a studio. So you have the small little compact kitchen, small compact bedroom, and a living area and a bathroom. And he was saying, even if it's that you just put down, you don't have to get this big luxurious mansion of a house, and just even start there, so that you have somewhere. He said that's how he started out, and he showed his house and everything. I'm gonna tell you all the guy's name, but he gives very, very nice, good information if you were planning on building, um, and just to have a little something, something there. Because look at all these people that they are deporting left and right,
Mm.
All right.
are going back home into whatever country.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. If you
Yeah.
if you start from now, and even if it takes you 5 years and you put down in 5, 10 years you put down $1,000 a year, which I think somebody can, maybe, if the job is right, and if you can, you take your time and build, build, build. And like you said, in Jamaica and a lot of these other so-called third world countries, um, you can take your time and to build. But it's best to have something. He says, listen, all the time he goes home, he's staying at Airbnbs, he's staying at hotels, he's staying at all these places, and it's costing him. He said, listen, I go home now, I'm in my little studio. He said, do you all know what a studio is? Just a little spot where there's a bed, there's a this, there's this, and now I'm able to visit Jamaica more frequently. Why? Because I'm not spending all this money on Airbnb. And I think me and somebody was reasoning on that recently, how there is so much money that when I go down, I spend on staying at these places. Yeah. So
Huh.
people start building. If you have a family, you all get along, maybe you all can pool together, and
Lady D, adopt me.
I'm adopt you.
Ah!
You.
Adopt me, Lady D.
But you know what's funny? Like even with the islands, like you're talking with Jamaica or the islands, but even I would say about 4 or 5 years ago, I was looking at, you buying a house in Rwanda, for example, right? And they had homes that were like $13,000 US dollars, and it's like these are big mansion types houses. These are huge houses
Yeah.
for like
Don't
13.
you hear? Don't you hear the African them running the American them chasing them out of their country?
Yeah. Yep.
That's why I'm going there. Listen, we only got 2 minutes left. We're gonna get up on out the air chair. But listen, as the guy said, property prices are not going down. So if
Right.
you can buy something,
Mhm,
and even if it's sit there for 10 years, it's yours. You can go and
mhm,
get a container and put on it. You know how much nice container host there, Jamaica, right now. Listen, just do something. Okay. Donna said, she said her father is what? She said her husband. Donna, I don't even know why I read that comment. But listen, we're getting up out of here. You all want to say River Dolce? We just thank each and every one for listening to us. I want to just say blessings and happy Mother's Day to each
mhm,
and everyone on Mother's Day. The Lady D show will not be on Saturday. Okay. I will not be doing my show on Saturday. Unfortunately, and it's very unfortunate that we will be laying to rest my nephew,
mhm,
so we will not be on the air for Saturday. And we will not be on the air for Mother's Day for All About Love, Nothing But Love. But do join us next week, Reasoning Thursdays, each and every Thursdays from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on all of your social medias, and on all of the outlets that we're streaming live. Also, the Lady D show will be back next week, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. with the best in news. I got all your Caribbean headliners, your entertainment, your joke of the day, and the best in music, interviews, and all of these things. And all about love, nothing but love, each and every Sundays. It's all about love. We got your love colors, your love numbers, your love everything, and it's a lovely, lovely um, show with yours truly, Lady D Blossom and Cool G. So love you all to the max. Blessings. And you all are phenomenal women. Happy Mother's
Yes, to all you,
Go ahead. And happy Mother's Day to all of whom is on the panel, minus the respecter.
except
Happy
me.
Mother's Day to you, ladies. I love you all, and I'm hoping that you all have a wonderful Mother's
I
Day.
want a gift. I want a gift on Monday for my birthday.
Happy Mother's Day,
Monday is my
lady.
Happy
birthday.
Mother's Day. Thank
Happy
everybody for
Mother's
listening.
Day.
Yeah, ignore
Okay.
me.
Wait a minute,
Happy
Keep
Happy
coming,
birthday,
Mother's
Kim.
Day.
When is your
Darespecta.
Monday is my
Happy
birthday?
Happy
Mother's
birthday
birthday.
Day,
to all.
listeners, to
wait a minute.
all of listeners.
I
Yes, to
want.
all the listeners and Lady D too. You're a
Lady.
wonderful woman as well.
Well, the respecter is trying to tell you all that Monday's his birthday. So
Happy birthday, the respecter.
when it
When it comes,
I want a.
happy
I want a. I
birthday,
want a birthday trip to Mar-a-Lago.
come
Hey.
off of my energy. Love you all. Love you all. Check y'all out. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for listening, however you're listening to us. Love you all and be blessed. All righty. And just stay safe. How
And
about
Lady D, we're
but
happy that you have a blessed family, a strong, powerful family.
Praying for you, Lady D.
Yes.
thank you? Thank you. Blessings.
Blessings.
God
Peace and
bless this
love. Good
weekend.
night.
Peace and love. Good,
Many blessings this weekend.
good night. Many blessings.
Mm.
yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Night, night, everyone.